In this session, let's understand the features of the future contract. To put it broadly, the features can be classified into three. Number one is standardization. Number two is you are going to deal with a third party in this futures contract, that is apart from the other party, that is either a buyer or seller. You are going to have a third party, and that third party would be called as clearinghouse. He is the person who is going to give the performance guarantee. The third feature is mark to market. So let's understand one by one. What does this standardization means? In futures contract, everything is standardized. That is, you should specify what quantity of assets you would be buying or selling, and in what quality you would be accepting it, that is whether it be buying or selling, and on what date and in which month you are going to perform the contract. And here, since the future contract involves a third party, that is the clearinghouse, and we call it as exchange, the exchange will fix a date, or say the day, not the date but the day in a week for settlement. Okay, so depending upon that particular day, the settlement will happen. So when the exchange says the settlement is on a particular day, you cannot have the performance beyond or before that particular date, right? And the fourth factor is in standardization is you should mention the units of price. The units of price should also be mentioned, that is the minimum and sometimes the maximum amount by which the price would change should be specified. Okay, so this is the major feature of a future contract, that is you have standardization with respect to quantity, quality, date and month, and the units of price. And the second feature with respect to the futures contract is you are going to deal with a clearinghouse. In futures contract, the clearinghouse plays the role of trading of futures contract. So the trading is going to happen through this clearinghouse, and this clearinghouse actually does all its or say all the back office operations. So you don't have any risk of default. You don't have any risk of default because this clearinghouse is going to give you the performance guarantee. So when we say that it gives you the performance guarantee, that it means it is going to guarantee both the buyer as well as the seller on the performance of the guarantee. So if either the buyer or the seller, if either of them are going to default, then this clearinghouse would take the responsibility and would ensure performance of the contract. And the third feature of the futures market is mark to market. That is, here the clearinghouse is actually acting as a guarantor. So it has a lot of responsibilities. So when it acts as a guarantor, it will require the parties, that is the seller and the buyer, to maintain a deposit with them. The clearinghouses would be requiring the seller or the buyer, or seller and the buyer, to maintain deposit with them, and that deposit would be called as margin. And this deposit amount will change with the changes in the daily price. So if the price, let's say if the price is going up, then the buyer's margin is actually getting reduced and the seller margin should increase. And when the price comes down, the buyer margin would increase and the seller margin is reduced by an equal amount. So this process is called a marking to market, and in effect the profit or losses which arises on account of these things will be settled on a day-to-day basis.